So, what if I told you that the secret formula for some of the biggest YouTube channels out there today wasn't cooked up in some Silicon Valley lab? What if I told you it was actually written down way back in 1937, right in the middle of the Great Depression? Yeah, it sounds crazy, I know, but stick with me because we're about to pull back the curtain on how a nearly century-old idea is fueling a brand new digital gold rush. First, let's just talk about what's on the table here. In these high-value niches, we're talking about things like personal finance, business. Creators are seeing what's called an RPM, or revenue per thousand views, of $25. And for some, it's even pushing past 30. So just to be clear, we're not talking about hobby money here. We're talking about building actual, scalable, automated media companies. And here's where it gets really interesting. The people behind these massive channels, well, you'd never know who they are. They're basically ghosts. You'll never see their face on camera. And they're not building a personal brand in the way you might think. So you're probably picturing some fancy setup, right? Expensive cameras, a full-blown studio. Nope. You can get this entire operation off the ground for less than $50 a month. Seriously. See, this isn't about getting lucky. It's not about being some big YouTube celebrity with a flashy personality. It's all about a formula, a repeatable, scalable system that turns timeless ideas into digital assets. Okay, so what exactly is this model? Well, we're talking about faceless YouTube channels. They work by combining a strong, authoritative voiceover with a mix of stock footage, slick animations, and text on the screen. And they've become huge in some of YouTube's most profitable spaces because they're all about one thing: the value of the information, not the personality of the person delivering it. So why does this work so well? Well, it's kind of the perfect storm. First, you've got advertisers willing to pay top dollar to get in front of this audience. Then you can scale up production like crazy using AI and stock footage, pumping out several videos a week. And the content? It's evergreen. That means it keeps getting views for years, not just a few days. But the real secret sauce? The brand is built on the content itself, not a person. And that makes it infinitely easier to scale. But the actual engine, the core ideas that power these modern media machines, it's got nothing to do with fancy AI or some secret algorithm hack. Nope, it all comes from one single source, a book that was published almost 100 years ago. The philosophy at its core is actually pretty simple, but man, is it powerful. The central idea from Napoleon Hill is basically this: your thoughts, if you focus them, can literally create your reality. And for these YouTube channels, that reality is a never-ending stream of high-value content that solves problems. The exact kind of stuff that people are desperately searching for. Just let that sink in for a second. 1937. We're talking before most homes even had a television, before the internet was even a dream. These ideas are beyond timeless. And the book? It's called Think and Grow Rich. But this isn't just some guy's random thoughts. The industrialist Andrew Carnegie himself sent Hill on a 20-year mission to interview over 500 of the most successful people alive. We're talking Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, guys like that. His job was to boil down all their wisdom into a single formula for success. So, the big question is, why? Why does a book from the Great Depression work so perfectly for a platform like YouTube today? Well, the answer is all in how the ideas are structured. You see, Hill didn't just write a book, he basically created the ultimate content blueprint. And the synergy is just incredible. I mean, look at this. Hill's 13 Principles of Success? That's a perfect 13-part video series right there. His 30 Causes of Failure? Boom, 30 different videos targeting highly searched problems people have. Ideas like definite purpose are the heart of motivational content, and the Mastermind principle is literally a guide to building an engaged community. The book isn't just a book, it's a content calendar for the next year. Okay, so that's the what, but how does it actually get made? This is where the magic happens. This is the alchemy of turning dense, old-school text into a modern, dynamic video that people simply can't click away from. So, let's take one of Hill's most famous ideas, his 6 steps. Now, the original wording is specific, it's actionable, but it's also a little formal for a fast-paced video, right? So you can think of this as our raw ingredient. A modern YouTube channel isn't just going to read that list to you. No way. It re-engineers it. So Hill's first step, fix the exact amount of money you desire, becomes a sharp, powerful call-out on the screen. Define your target. And then step 2, determine what you will give in return, gets simplified into something just as powerful. Define your value. It's all about making it punchy, clear, and instantly understandable. And his third step,
Establish a definite date gets sharpened into 3 simple words: set your deadline. This is how you translate dense philosophy into a visual language that grabs and holds on to a viewer's attention.
And this works for the bigger lists too. The book gives you like 30 reasons people fail. A top-tier video turns that into a high-energy story. Instead of a boring, scrolling list, you get these quick, hard-hitting words flashing on screen, each one landing with impact: procrastination, fear, indecision. Every single cut is engineered to keep you locked in. So the most important thing to get here is that this is all success by design. It is not an accident. The channels that are winning aren't just getting lucky. They're running a modern media strategy that's built on a rock-solid, old-school philosophy. You know, the whole methodical process these channels use, from scripting and research to voiceover and editing, that whole assembly line is basically a direct, modern-day version of Hill's principle of organized planning. Success doesn't just happen, it's planned and executed with discipline. And think about the very first step a creator takes: choosing one of those profitable, high RPM niches. Well, that's just the 21st century version of Hill's #1 principle: establishing a definite purpose. You start with a very clear, very specific goal, and you point all of your energy directly at it.
When it comes right down to it, the faceless channels that are truly winning aren't just repeating old content. They are literally engineering their success. They do it by mixing timeless principles with modern strategies, a ton of persistence, and just unshakable self-discipline.
This combination, this fusion of old wisdom and new media, is what's creating a whole new wave of digital fortunes. And it proves that the most powerful ideas, they don't get old. They just wait for a new platform to come along. So I guess the final question is, what timeless idea will you architect for the modern age?